Have you ever wondered why so many people get caught up in the idea of overnight riches? You know those stories of someone waking up one day to find they've made millions overnight? The truth is, it's a myth, plain and simple. The idea that wealth can magically appear with little to no effort is one of the most dangerous misconceptions out there. And today, we're going to dive deep into why. Welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're talking about the myth of overnight riches, a trap many fall into, often to their detriment. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell because we're all about cutting through the noise and giving you real, actionable advice to help you build a solid financial future. One that doesn't rely on fairy tales. Before we dive into the facts, let me share with you a little story that perfectly illustrates this myth of quick success. Once upon a time, in a small village, there were two men, Jack and Leo. Both men dreamed of becoming wealthy. Jack was impatient. He'd heard of a magical tree in the forest that could grow gold overnight. Ignoring the warnings of the villagers, Jack ventured deep into the woods and found the tree. Every night, he would shake the branches, hoping for gold to fall. But each morning he woke up disappointed. The tree bore no fruit. Meanwhile, Leo stayed in the village. Instead of chasing myths, he planted an ordinary apple tree. He watered it every day, tended to its roots, and waited patiently. It took years, but eventually the tree grew strong and bore plenty of fruit. Leo didn't get rich overnight, but soon he was selling apples to the whole village, and his wealth steadily grew. Jack, on the other hand, kept shaking that magical tree, growing more frustrated each day. He neglected his responsibilities, spent all his savings on schemes to make the tree grow faster, and eventually had nothing left. By the time he returned to the village, Leo was a respected and wealthy man, while Jack had nothing but empty hands and wasted years. The moral? Wealth doesn't come from chasing illusions. It's built steadily with patience and effort. Just like Leo's apple tree, true financial success grows over time, not overnight. Let's start by talking about the myth itself. The fantasy of overnight riches is something we've all been exposed to. Think about it. How many times have you seen those YouTube ads or Instagram posts promising that you can get rich quick, earn 6 figures in a month, or make money while you sleep? It's tempting, isn't it? But the truth is, these promises are designed to exploit one thing: our desire for quick results without the work. The fantasy of overnight riches is just that, a fantasy. It feeds into our culture of instant gratification, where we want results now, not later. But here's the thing. Just like you wouldn't expect to lose 30 pounds in a week, you shouldn't expect to build lasting wealth overnight. Most people who appear to have made it overnight actually spent years, sometimes decades, working toward their success. Take, for example, those viral social media stars or entrepreneurs who seem to blow up out of nowhere. What you don't see is the years of preparation, late nights, and setbacks that came before their overnight success. So, let's be real. The myth of overnight riches is just that, a myth. There are no shortcuts to lasting wealth. And the faster we accept that, the faster we can get on the right path. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far and want more topics like this, comment the word "more" so I know. All right. Now, let's get into the real dangers of chasing quick money. Most people who fall for get-rich-quick schemes end up losing more than they gain. Here's why. When you're focused on fast wealth, you stop making smart financial decisions. Think about it. When you believe there's a magical way to get rich, you stop doing the things that actually work: saving, investing, learning about personal finance. Instead, you might throw your money at high-risk investments, shady business ventures, or worse, straight-up scams. A perfect example is Jordan Belfort, also known as the Wolf of Wall Street. Belfort built his empire in the 1990s by manipulating stock prices and convincing investors to buy worthless stocks. He was the king of quick money, at one point making millions a week. The yachts, the mansions, the wild parties, it all came from his pursuit of wealth through unethical shortcuts. But here's the kicker. Just like Jack from our story, Belfort's world came crashing down. The fast money, which had come so easily, disappeared just as quickly. He lost everything, his fortune, his reputation, and ultimately his freedom when he was sentenced to prison for securities fraud and money laundering. Belfort's story is a cautionary tale. The pursuit of fast wealth can lead to disaster. Sure, he experienced a temporary high, but the costs were enormous. He hurt countless people, spent years in prison, and had to rebuild his life from scratch. The fame and fortune came with a heavy price tag, one that Belfort himself admits wasn't worth it in the end. Chasing quick riches often leaves you exactly like Jack or Belfort, empty-handed, with wasted time and regrets. Instead of gambling with your future, focus on building wealth the right way, with patience, integrity, and smart financial choices. So, if the myth of overnight riches is just that, a myth, what does real success look like? The answer is simple. It looks like years of consistent effort, smart decisions, and financial discipline. The key here is to focus on sustainable wealth. That means building a solid foundation first. If you've ever built a house, you know that the foundation is the most important part. Without it, the entire structure can crumble. The same goes for your financial life. Instead of focusing on shortcuts, focus on the basics: budgeting, saving, investing, and living below your means. This is how real wealth is built, slowly, steadily, and sustainably. Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest people in the world, famously said, "The stock market is designed to transfer money from the active to the patient." The lesson here? Patience pays off. Let's take a deeper look at why playing the long game is crucial. Imagine you start investing in your early 20s. You're not throwing money into risky ventures. Instead, you're contributing steadily to an index fund that grows slowly but surely. By the time you reach retirement, your wealth has compounded significantly. This is the magic of compound interest, what Albert Einstein famously called the eighth wonder of the world. But here's the thing, you won't see instant results. Like Leo in our fable, who watered his apple tree every day, you need to tend to your financial garden. The rewards don't come overnight, but when they do, they last a lifetime. Whether it's building a diverse investment portfolio or simply putting aside a portion of your paycheck every month, real success comes from consistency. So remember, wealth isn't about the paycheck you get next month. It's about what you build over time. The myth of overnight riches distracts you from this truth, but the long game, that's where real wealth is found. Now, let's talk about something that doesn't get enough attention: the psychological impact of constantly chasing quick money. When you're obsessed with the idea of overnight riches, it can mess with your head. You start feeling stressed, anxious, and, let's be honest, disappointed when the results don't come as fast as you'd hoped. This mindset can lead to desperation, and desperation is the enemy of sound financial decision-making. It's easy to get trapped in a cycle where you're always looking for the next big thing, the next investment that's going to double your money, or the next business idea that's going to make you millions. But here's the problem. When you're always chasing, you're never content. If you're constantly looking for shortcuts, you're also likely to make impulsive decisions, which can lead to poor financial outcomes. You might take on more debt, make risky investments, or fall for get-rich-quick schemes. It's a vicious cycle. One of the biggest lessons from Buddhist teachings is the idea of letting go of attachments. And guess what? The attachment to fast money is one of the most dangerous attachments you can have. It creates unnecessary stress. And worse, It prevents you from living in the present moment. Instead of chasing the myth of overnight riches, focus on cultivating a healthy financial mindset that prioritizes steady growth and stability. The peace of mind that comes with building wealth the right way is far more valuable than the anxiety of chasing quick money. So, how do you break free from the myth of overnight riches? The first step is understanding that true wealth takes time. There's no magic formula, no secret shortcut, and no get-rich-quick scheme that will make you successful overnight. It's about playing the long game. Let's go back to the story of Jack and Leo. Jack spent all his time chasing a magical tree, believing it would give him gold overnight. Meanwhile, Leo chose the steady path, planting his apple tree and nurturing it every day. At first, Jack's approach seemed exciting. Who wouldn't want to believe in a shortcut to riches? But while Jack was wasting time and energy chasing something that never existed, Leo's hard work began to pay off. His tree grew strong, bore fruit, and became a steady source of wealth. This story perfectly illustrates why you need to stop chasing quick money and start focusing on building a sustainable foundation for your future. The key to escaping. The myth of overnight riches is to understand that wealth isn't something you stumble upon. It's something you grow, just like Leo's apple tree. It requires patience, discipline, and consistency. Here are a few things you can start doing today to shift your mindset and build your financial apple tree. Set realistic financial goals. Instead of focusing on how to make $1 million by the end of the year, focus on how to save a little more, invest smarter, and reduce your debt. Small, incremental changes lead to big results over time. Automate your savings. Set up automatic transfers to your savings account so that you're consistently putting money away. Even if it's a small amount, it adds up over time, just like Leo's tree, which didn't grow overnight but flourished through consistent care. Invest in yourself. One of the best investments you can make is in your own education. Whether it's learning a new skill, understanding how the stock market works, or improving your financial literacy, investing in yourself will pay dividends, much like planting seeds for your own growth. Avoid the temptation of high-risk, high-reward schemes. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Stay away from investments that promise quick returns with little risk. Remember, slow and steady wins the race. Leo's slow-growing tree eventually gave him everything he needed, while Jack was left with nothing. Breaking free from the myth of overnight riches means rewiring your mindset. Instead of looking for shortcuts, start valuing the journey of wealth building. Like Leo, each small, deliberate action you take today contributes to the bigger picture of your financial future. Let's talk about why the myth of overnight riches refuses to die. Despite the countless stories of people like Jordan Belfort or those who lose everything chasing fast money, the idea of getting rich quickly still appeals to so many. Why? Because it's easy to sell. Get-rich-quick schemes thrive on hope. The hope that you can skip the hard work, skip the years of struggle, and jump straight to financial freedom. It's the same reason why the lottery is so popular. People want to believe that wealth can come without sacrifice. But here's the truth. If you want something real, something that lasts, you have to work for it. Success isn't glamorous in the beginning. It's often filled with mundane tasks like budgeting, saving, and saying no to temptations. The promise of quick money is alluring, but like Jordan Belfort learned the hard way, shortcuts come with consequences. True wealth takes time, effort, and patience. And while it's not the fast track, it's the only track that leads to lasting success. At the end of the day, the myth of overnight riches is just that, a myth. Real wealth isn't built overnight. It's built brick by brick, decision by decision, over time. Remember Jack from the Fable? His quest for fast money left him with nothing, while Leo's patience and steady work built him a sustainable, growing wealth. The same principle applies to you. Focus on the long game, not the quick fix. The good news is you don't need to win the lottery, get lucky, or stumble upon some magical opportunity to achieve financial success. All you need is patience, discipline, and a willingness to play the long game. So, if you're tired of chasing quick wins and want to start building real, sustainable wealth, make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and let me know in the comments what your financial goals are. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching, and remember, wealth isn't about luck, it's about strategy. Let's keep building together, one smart decision at a time. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out my next video where we dive into the never-ending cycle of more money. Trust me, you don't want to miss it. See you there.